Everyone is debating whether AI will take jobs, but almost nobody is talking about the real opportunity that is happening now. AI, it's creating the fastest learning curve in history. Skills that used to take 6 months to learn can now take you 6 weeks if you know how to use the right tools. For example, a local business owner can film one 5 minute video and AI can turn that into 30 pieces of content in a matter of minutes. And so keep that in mind as you're thinking about whether this works for you because that's the shift. And today I'm going to show you one AI move that could literally create income this week. Welcome to the AI Profit Show, my friends.
The AI Profit Show with
Good
Coach Manny.
morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining me. And welcome to the AI Profit Show. I'm your Puerto Rican friend, Coach Manny, bringing a little manergy to you this morning. This is the show where we break down AI tools, strategies, opportunities that help creators and businesses actually make money with AI. This show, we're not about the AI hype. Remember that. Even though we talk a lot about it, that's not what this is about. It's about how real people use AI to create real income. If you're watching live, drop AI in the comments so I know you're here. And good morning. And tell me where you're watching from. Every week we'll break down 3 things. AI news that actually matters, one powerful AI tool, and one AI money move that you can use right away. All right, let's jump into the first segment. You got it, my friends. AI news that matters. The real AI shift. Now, right now, everyone is debating whether AI will replace jobs, but that's actually the wrong conversation, right? Because at the end of the day, the real shift is how fast people can learn now. That's one of the biggest shifts out there. AI can act like your research assistant, brainstorming partner, copywriter, strategist, tutor. It could be almost your everything. I do refer to it as my assistant. Let me ask my assistant. As you know, if you follow my profile, you know I'm a racquetball coach. I took that too fast. A little coffee, right? If you follow me, you know that I'm a racquetball coach. And that is one thing that I even use ChatGPT for sometimes to confirm that I'm right to these kids, right? As they progress, they want to start challenging me on things. I'm like, look, I'm not the only one that believes this. Let's look it up, right? And so that's why it's important to understand that this can actually be used in your business. This can actually be used as a way to make some additional revenue in your world. So that means people who learn how to use it right now is gaining a massive advantage. In many ways, the moments feel a lot like the early days of social media, right? Just getting started. I remember when a friend of mine introduced me to ChatGPT probably 3, 4, 5 years ago. I'm not 100% sure. I would have to think harder. But at first, I was thinking in my head, I already know how to use Google very well for SEO purposes, how to find whatever I'm looking for. But as I dug deeper and deeper, it was like, holy molies, this is real. And so the people who figured it out early, those early days of social media, they built audiences, they built businesses, they built influence. AI is creating the same opportunity again. Just like when the internet became a really big deal, this AI is becoming a really big deal, which leads to today's tool. I'm going to share my screen with you here. This is our AI tool breakdown, and we're going to be diving into, we'll come back here. I just wanted to have these steps ready for you, but we're going to come back here to that document and break down those steps when you would use it. But using ChatGPT, I'm in ChatGPT right now. I use ChatGPT Atlas. It is a browser, right? They have a browser now. And I've been using it now for a few months, basically since they launched this thing. right? And so I use it. I have a Mac, so I use it for Mac. It's, I believe, available for both PC and Mac. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to dig into that one. But you can use ChatGPT. This is your AI tool breakdown. You can use this for content repurposing, right? And so today's AI tool is actually one many people are already using, but using it the wrong way. ChatGPT. Most people treat ChatGPT like it's Google. They ask one question, they get one answer and move on. And over time, I'm going to share with you different tools, different ways that you can even use ChatGPT. There's some power behind this. Yes, we're going to talk about Gemini. We're going to talk about Claude. Not today, but stick around because we're going to be diving into these every week. But the real power of ChatGPT is using it like a content engine. A friend of mine who owns an office supply business, he's also a client, he said, how would I use AI for my business? I said, AI is becoming a bigger deal over time. It's still developing. There will be a lot more advantages in the long run. But right now, it's great for creating that content, for being that content engine. And so let me show you a simple example, right? You can use a prompt. A prompt is what you tell it to do. Whatever data you are trying to retrieve, whatever whatever type of information that you are trying to do. The better your prompt, the better the result. Think about that, right? So if you have generic prompts, there's a good chance you're going to get generic responses. Okay? And that's why I always say don't even settle just for the first response, go deeper. You can literally copy whatever you are looking at and thinking about running with that, put it back into ChatGPT and tell it to poke holes in this. And then you just paste it. And when you do that, then it will poke holes in it because you told it to poke holes in it. Okay, so there's a lot of value, but you can turn a video transcript. When I'm done with this video, okay, I'm going to use the transcript to multi-purpose this thing. So you can first, you got to get the transcript, right? There are multiple ways to get the transcript. If you don't want to pay for ways to get the transcript, the easiest way is to go to YouTube, upload your video to YouTube, keep it on private so no one can see it if it's not ready to be. But if it is ready, then, which, is put it on before you start all this stuff, kind of. But once you do that, it actually, if you ever notice on YouTube, it gives you transcript. So you can copy and paste the transcript from there. Literally, in the description, if you scroll down, you'll see transcript. You press on it, it gives you the transcript. And guess what? You can do that to other influencers who might have great content that you like. Don't copy and paste their content to be used as yours. But a lot of content creators, they're not reinventing the wheel, right? They're sharing it in their own words. They're sharing different things. Anytime there's a new release, there's not just one creator talking about this big news announcement, right? There's multiple creators. So find content out there, but in your case, if you want, then you can take the transcript and then you can put it in here. And you just say, turn this video transcript into 5 Facebook posts, 5 LinkedIn posts, 10 tweet ideas, 3 short video clips. And next week or the week after, I'm going to introduce you to a tool that I use to break these videos down. All right. So what used to take hours of content creation can now happen in a matter of minutes, right? That is one of the powerful things. And here's where it does become powerful for businesses. That 1-minute video can turn into 20 plus pieces of content, just like I showed you, right? And so when I take a piece of content, so with my clients, we'll sit down and they just jump on a Zoom. And I'm recording their video that they're creating. Some clients, yes, I do go to their location, just like I was sharing with my friend yesterday. I go to his office. His internet's not the greatest, but sometimes me being there makes them helps them be a little more creative. And so, or at least the atmosphere that we're using help us use it a little more creatively. And so, but we took in his particular case, we're not doing the whole shebang. We do one video, but I'm still going to throw that into a software and I'm going to get the transcript. And then I'm going to go into ChatGPT and I'm going to say, write me a scroll stopping, attention grabbing title for YouTube, or a scroll stopping, attention grabbing image, thumbnail. If you say, write me a scroll stopping, attention grabbing thumbnail for YouTube, make sure that you use the 1080 by 720 pixel size, because otherwise a thumbnail can also be a little small image that you see, right? But when we're talking YouTube thumbnail that goes on the video, it's one of the scroll stoppers. It's one of the reasons they're going to click on your video. You can use Chat. I do not pay for thumbnails anymore. I do not pay for them. I used to pay for them whenever I was getting thumbnails done for clients. I would pay for those things. I would have to pay someone to create those thumbnails. I don't have to do that anymore. And I really like the production out of ChatGPT and Gemini more than when I was paying for it. Really, when I was paying for it, it actually looks similar. So I'm not going to take anything away from them. You know, truth is, when I look at it, maybe they were on this before me. Right? When I think about it, should I say. And so, well, you get going, you get thirsty. And so this leads me to my next part of that. All right? Now, I thought I'd dive a little more into this ChatGPT, but I want to make sure I'm respectful of time, and this is a show. But I'm sure you got some value out of that. So in our next segment, we're going to talk about one of the most important parts of the show, the AI money move of the week. All right? And in this segment, this is the part of the show where we turn AI into actual income. How can you do that, right? Here's the AI money move of the week. You can easily find a local business that rarely posts, right? You can check out local businesses. You can ask ChatGPT to do some research for you. Again, the stuff helps you eliminate time. It's not here to replace people. Honestly, down the road, you might be able to replace some employees. I'll be honest with you. I will be honest with you, especially with a lot of what I'm moving. So there is going to be a huge possibility of savings, but you can find local businesses that rarely post on social media. All right, and you can offer to turn one video into 30 pieces of content using AI. And here's the process. This is where you kind of saw this a little bit earlier. So you can record a simple video with a business owner. I do this every week, multiple times a week. You can record a simple video. It could be, if it's going to be under 3 minutes, I would consider doing it this way, portrait style. Now, truth is, like the software I use, if I'm working with you and I'm creating these videos with you, I actually have dual mode. So we're recording in the landscape and we're recording at the same time in portrait at the same time. But if you're by yourself and you got some decisions to make, then if it's less than 3 minutes, do this. If it's going to be more than 3 minutes, do this. But for example, the purpose of this live show, when I'm done, I'm going to repurpose this video. I'm going to break it down into a bunch of shorts, right? And so if you want to just capture the highlights, basically, this video will produce me probably 20 pieces of short form content. Did you hear that? So you can record a simple video with a business owner, right? You can upload that video. You literally can upload videos to ChatGPT. Now I notice that I run into problems with the ChatGPT Atlas browser when it comes to uploading videos. So I have to go to a different browser, go to ChatGPT, and then I can get it done. All right, but you can upload video. If you see a video that goes viral and you're like, oh, that's funny, I wonder how they did that. Well, use a screen recorder. They got free ones. I have a free one on here. I don't need it other than to capture that moment, right? Upload it to ChatGPT and ask it to do work for you, basically. How did they create this video? I really like the style of it, but I don't want to copy it word for word, right? And put your feels on it, your mix on it. So you upload the video, it can produce a transcript. Again, you can go to YouTube, grab your transcript, or you can use the tool that I'm going to introduce you to called Opus Clip, and that's what I do with one of my clients, as long as we already do some good editing at the beforehand. But now that we're live again, we're going to just upload it to Opus, and then Opus will also give me the transcript. Even simpler, right? Because I'm going to be adding caption to it too, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But then you can actually paste that transcript to ChatGPT, right? After you can even pay people to transcript. But again, I just showed you a free way that you can easily do that using YouTube. Then you can generate posts with it. You can generate captions with it. You can generate short videos just from that one simple video with the business owner. And then you can schedule out the content for the week. And so that's what I do with another one of my clients. We meet every week. She's a pharmacist. And so after we do our one video, then we repurpose it, right? We're feeding 3 different types of people. The ones that want to only listen, podcast. So this is going to be available podcast. We're feeding those who blog, right? You can take that transcript and say, write me a blog, and make sure you include the YouTube video in that blog post. And then boom, you're feeding both of them right now. You can even feed the podcast in there. Then you're feeding all 3. So again, you might want those who just want to read. That's where the blogging comes in. And so think about that for a second. With those 3 words, when we do that for the pharmacist, those are exactly what we're doing, right? She's not promoting come buy your medications at our pharmacy. No, she also has a personal brand that's really her focus. But for credibility, we lean into that licensed pharmacist portion. So you can create content just like this for business owners. All right, you can create captions. Write me 10 attention grabbing, scroll stopping titles that are SEO friendly. Anything along those lines, you can create that. Write me a TikTok caption, right? That TikTok description will be different than your YouTube description, which will be different than your LinkedIn description, because the audiences are just a tad bit different on each of those audiences, on each of those platforms. And then so what we do and what you would do is, if it's on Facebook, if you're using MetroCool, or if you're using anything like that, you can schedule the content out for the entire month. So imagine you got a client, right? And you're charging anywhere from $500 to $1,000 as side work, right? You got your main stuff that you're focused on, but you're thinking about another way that you can make money in this AI world, right? And so AI solves that problem instantly when you think about the businesses that struggle with consistency. Like we said, they're not posting, right? They're not struggling with ideas. They have great ideas, which is another one of my clients. Great ideas, creative in so many different ways, but he barely has time to breathe because he's so busy. That's when it makes more sense to hire someone to do that stuff, because you should have a marketing budget anyway. And so that's one of the opportunities that most people are missing, right? They have ideas, they just don't have that consistency, or they just need someone to help guide them, right? That's something that we do a lot. But maybe you are thinking about diving into this world. Number one, reach out to me, please. You don't even have to worry about hiring me. Let's dive into this, and I can just guide you with a little quick strategy session. And so, but that's the opportunity that many people are missing. And then now we move on to the community question. So, one question that I hear all the time is, do you have to be technical to use AI? The answer is a resounding no. The real skill with AI is learning how to ask better questions. That's what I mean about the prompt. Because AI, the tools, they actually respond to the quality of the prompt, just like I described a little earlier. So the better your prompt, the better your response. The better your question, the better the result. And this is why learning how to think strategically about prompts is one of the most valuable skills right now. My leadership coach, Amy Nunn, she is someone who uses prompts extremely well. She's actually holding a class. If you're interested in that, drop Amy Nunn in the bottom, and I'll be glad to introduce you, because she's really helping businesses create better prompts. All right. So that's one of the biggest things. Sometimes I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll say, write me this prompt, and this is what I want it to be. If I'm looking for a Sora prompt or a syllabi prompt, and those are tools I'll be introducing you to. Again, you're going to want to follow if you are headed down the road of, I want to use this AI in my business or as a creator. And so that's why it's key to learn about prompts and how to use them effectively to get the best results. And that's how people are becoming smarter and going through courses faster and figuring things out a little quicker, because that prompts. And a lot of times, even as I was creating this show and I'm coming up with ideas, because just because it spits something out doesn't mean you want to run with that, right? It needs to fit your personality, and it's to fit what you're trying to do. And you know what? Sometimes you might mess up, and sometimes you might hit a home run. But it is what it is, right? You keep moving forward. And so in our next segment, as we are starting to close this out, this is our AI move of the week. Here's a simple AI move that you can try this week. All right? Open up ChatGPT and ask this question. Again, around AI. What services could I offer local businesses using AI that they would pay $500 for? And you'll instantly get a lot of opportunities. All right? Just even with that. So if you're thinking about, how can I dive into making a few extra side bucks in this, that's a prompt, that's a question that you can ask it. What services could I offer local businesses using AI that they would pay $500 for? And so then you look at those opportunities, because here's the truth: the future belongs to people who know how to use AI to create value. And so before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a little manergy for the week. Don't just learn about AI. Use it. The people who win in this era are the ones who take action. And so, my friends, if you got value from today's episode, make sure you follow the show. And if you're trying to figure out how to turn AI into profit, just follow your Puerto Rican friend, Coach Manny. I'm here to help. And thank you for joining me on the first episode of the AI Profit Show. Until next time, my friends, I'll see you next week. Peace. Have a great day.